Hello, welcome to Do It Yourself with Wayne. Today we're going to talk about the trellis that I got from my green beans. I picked these green beans this morning, and that's a 1 gallon size bag, and all these came off these green beans this morning. My trellis is 7 feet long, so we got 2 small rows, one on either side of the trellis, probably a little bit thick, but they grow up on this trellis. We've been using this for about 4 years now, and it works great. I've gardened stuff all my life, and there's been many years that I absolutely refused to pick green beans because they were down low on the ground and you had to squat down and bend over them, and it was just miserable picking green beans. I don't mind picking them when they're up like this. So it makes it a lot easier to get your green beans, and I think they produce a little better too because they get more airflow around them. So anyway, I'm going to show you how I built my trellis. But one thing I want to point out while I'm here, when I was building my raised beds, there was 2 old dogwood trees here. One here, one over here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's in there. I left the stumps kind of high. And this is the 4th year that I've used those stumps to put my wire on for the trellis. They're still solid. I know most people won't have 2 old stumps you can use, so I got another row of green beans coming up. They're maybe close to a foot tall right now, but they need the trellis so they can start, growing up on it. And I'm going to show you how we built our trellis between our green bean rows. And so that's what this video is all about, is building a trellis for your green beans to grow up on. Now this is my other raised bed that I've got green beans already in and coming up. As you can see, I got 2 rows. I put the trellis right in the middle of them, let the 2 rows grow together and up on the trellis. Of course, after you plant your green beans, the first thing you need for your trellis is a couple of posts. These are metal fence posts that you can buy at your typical big box hardware store or your farm and garden center, any place that sells fencing materials like they have these. These are 7 feet tall. Because of my raised bed, I got 1.5 feet of loose soil to go through before I get to some solid soil that would help hold these things in place. So I got the extra tall ones so I'd have enough height to get down to some solid ground. And another thing you'll need is something to drive your post in the ground. Now I got one of these things. I don't recommend you buying one of these things unless you're going to drive a fair number of posts, because they're a little pricey. But if you've got one, they work great. If you don't have one, a sledgehammer or a backside of an axe or something will work. Just be very careful with it. These are a lot safer to use. The hardest part is getting it up there on top of the pole. So I always lean my pole over to put it up there. That should be deep enough into the solid soil to hold this thing. And doing a little measuring here, my wire for my trellis is 7 feet long as well. So I don't want my posts too far apart. Now when you're driving your post, when you got 2 posts like this for a trellis, things will look better when you're finished if you try to get your post at the same height. I got one lattice or trellis over here that I couldn't get one of my posts deep enough, so the lattice is crooked. That bugs me. But when you drive your post in, if you get them about the same height, your trellis that I'm going to show you how to put up will be more level, just looks neater. For the wire for my trellis, I use these things. These are actually designed for reinforcing concrete. You can get them at your big box hardware stores or other places that sell material for doing concrete, driveways and sidewalks and things of that nature. Like I said, it's just used for reinforcing concrete. But out here in the garden, I have found it to be very useful. I've been doing these things, I've been doing my trellises with these things for 4 years now. They work very well, actually longer than that. But they work very well. I use them for my tomato plants as well. On a short row of tomatoes, I'll put up 2 posts, put one of these up, and I just weave my tomato plants in amongst them as they grow. And I found that very helpful as well, because I don't have to put up a post for every tomato plant. But anyway, I'll put a picture of one of these things leaning up against my house so you can see what it looks like a little bit better. I know you can't really tell what it looks like here. But on my post, and I'll put a picture of this up in the corner, these little tabs on here are for holding the fence wire when you're doing normal fencing. Take one near the top, one near the bottom, and bend it out a little bit further than what it is. And then those are the 2 that you hang this on. So you go up here, push it in there, like so. Just like that. That's it. And like I said, I've been doing this for a number of years. It works really well. And as far as the expense, I think these panels are $7 or $8 a piece, but I've got some I've been using for quite a number of years. So if you divide that price over years, it's not very expensive. These posts, they are 7-footers. If you don't have a raised bed, you don't need them 7 feet. You can get the shorter ones. But with the raised bed, like I was saying earlier, it's so far through the soft dirt to get to the hard ground that's down below my raised bed. I needed a taller post to get down to some solid soil. But I think they're around $8 a piece, something like that. But I've got some of these posts that I've probably used for 15 or 20 years, and I'm still using them. So if you're going to continue doing a garden, these expenses are relatively inexpensive in the long term. So anyway, that's my tutorial for building a trellis for my green beans to grow on. And as I said, I also do the same thing for my tomato plants and cucumbers too, for that matter. So anyway, if you find this video useful, please click like and share it with your friends if you think it's appropriate. And we'd just like to say thank you for visiting Do It Yourself with Wayne. Please subscribe to our channel, and we hope you have a great gardening season.